Hi gang, this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com coming to you with the brew. Talk to me with a cup of tea, but this time I've not got a cup of tea. I've got a Thailand brew, which is a coconut, which is, I've got to say, absolute nectar. But it's not nectar, it's coconut juice, which is extremely good for you. Well, things are developing very fast, aren't they? Which is why I'm putting these presentations out quite quickly in succession. If anybody's got any particular issues that you want to talk to me about, then please feel free to do it. Let me just turn this fan off. It's very, very warm here in Thailand today, probably 36 degrees, probably feels more like 40, very humid. One of the things that I've become very, very aware of just recently is the fact that lock-ins give you a lot of online time. If you look at your device, you'll probably find that you're giving more screen time than you've ever done because you've got all this time on your hands. And because I'm a YouTube presenter and I'm communicating with my groups, my Genesis clients, my Mike Body Spirit community, my Reiki On group, and many other groups online, I'm constantly looking at the screen, using my laptop on my iPad. Probably spend 2, 3, 4 hours a day on that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a good thing. Let me give you a clue. Get some obsidian. Get some obsidian and either wear it or wipe your screen with it. Just get yourself to a place where you are crystal protected. Your screen is giving off EMFs, which is electromotive force. It's energy coming off the screen, and it can be negative. We are powerful, we radiate, but we also receive. So if you're using your device a lot, just be aware, carry some obsidian to absorb and protect you. I'm wearing these things all the time. I'm not saying you have to, but I advise you to. And wipe your screen, just go north, south, east and west and all 4 corners with obsidian and carry it. Oh my goodness, have it close to you. It'll protect you. And this stuff also bounces, I've just discovered. So there's just a handy hint and tip, and I recommend that you do that because it's something that I do. Because of lock-in and because of this virtual community, this way that we live virtually, we can't talk to each other, we can't get together, this rule of 6 at the moment in September 2020, we're spending more time online. Good thing in some ways, but let me just tell you this. It's very likely that you're sharing with Google or whatever search engine that you use things that you probably wouldn't tell your partner, wouldn't tell your kids and wouldn't tell your parents. Think about that. Think about how exposed you are through social media and also through the search engines, and just have no doubt about it that it's being monitored. I'm not saying that it's against your name, but as an algorithm, they are watching behaviours. And if you're Googling things that come into their algorithm at risk, like I am, which is I'm Googling the conspiracies, I'm talking about what they call the conspiracies, which people are realising now aren't conspiracies, they are the facts. You make your own mind up for that, do your own research. But if you're going against the mainstream ethos, the mainstream propaganda, then you'll probably be deleted, fact-checked, or given a one-strike warning, as I have received. Because I'm out there, I'm broad-minded, I'm open-minded, but we've got a narrow-minded, single-minded agenda, education system, banking system, healing system, health system. It's all part of the system, and the system is government controlled, and then above the government you've got the cabal and you've got the Illuminati. Now you might hear that word and go, oh, here he goes off on one of his conspiracies. Do your own research. Most of the big tech companies are owned by the same families that own the banks, that own the health system, that own the education system, that own the world system. They are running the world. And despite the fact that you've got countries that are supposed to be fighting each other, above that, you've got these same families who are funding the whole thing, who are becoming very rich at our expense. Just be aware that if you put something into Google or Firefox or DuckDuckGo or whatever search engine you use, it's going into the algorithm. All you have to do is say something around your device, and the next thing it appears in your marketing. In other words, they'll start to sell you something. You don't have to press the button to say Alexa or Siri or Hello Google. It's listening all the time. Now, don't become paranoid, just bodyguard what you say, what you search. Have your private conversations, even in secret groups. I've got private groups, secret groups, and I've put things in and it's still being monitored and I'm still receiving warnings because I'm giving people knowledge, gnosis. I'm giving people inspiration. Inspiration means it's inspired, it's in spirit. And the world IT is information in form, and the planet, the cabal, these families, these control systems are working in the physical, in the 3 dimension of reality. I'm working in metaphysics, in multidimensional, mega universe reality, the mind, energy, consciousness, which is supremely powerful. But we operate, if you like, on the earth, but we're not of the earth, as it says in the Bible. And I'm not particularly biblical, because there's a lot of rubbish in the Bible, as there is a lot of wisdom, as there is in a lot of sacred books. They're just writings by people, inspired, but they have agendas too. So be aware of every agenda. And I'll just go back to my original point that you're probably sharing intimately, and I mean that in the most humble way and the most morale way, but you're sharing things with your search engine that you probably wouldn't share with your kids, your parents, or your partners. So just be aware that it's all being monitored, and these IT companies are watching social behaviour and trending and creating trends. And a lot of these, if you like, these shock jocks, these presenters, are actually there being funded by people involved in social engineering. I've seen, anti-Trump campaigners who look like individuals and pro-Trump campaigners. And I've seen Bill Gates, people talk about Bill Gates. I've talked about people talk about the royal family, people talking about all sorts of things. And the production quality is so high and so professional. Trust me, these people aren't just people like you and me. They're not just random casual watchers. They're funded. They're part of the agenda. They are social influencers. They are put there by high-profile people with a lot of money and a lot of power. If you like, they are patsies, and a patsy is somebody who's put there to change the public opinion. So they might be presented as a kind old man or a spiritual lady or whoever it is that you're watching, but trust me, they are part of the system. They are social manipulators. They are working on your mind. So you are your own best expert. Decide instinctively and intuitively yourself, and listen to these people as I do, but then step back, create a gap, and then consider wisely using your higher self. Just be aware that we are being controlled at the moment. And there's people who look as if they are on your side. And then if you look at what's behind them, there's a production team, there's a script. You look at these professional produce YouTube videos that seem to be made by people who are anti-establishment. They're as much part of the establishment as the establishment. They couldn't produce those things and have that exposure and that professionalism without being part of some studio. It's a production. People are acting. They're players. Be aware of that. So don't be manipulated even by the people who seem to be against the establishment, because to have that following, they become part of the establishment. It's rather like politicians and some religious leaders, and even, I'm a spiritual person, but some spiritual gurus sell out. They opt for fame, fortune and financial gain, that they become egoic. Many years ago, with some of the things that I'm able to do, with kinesthetics, actually moving objects and some of my mind reading and stuff. I was asked by HTV, because I was profiled around about be about 2005. I was picked up by North Wales Weekly News and Chester Chronicle and the Daily Post on something that I did for charity, and they wanted me to go on television. They wanted to do a huge article on me. They did an article on me, but I made sure the editorial was something that I wrote. But at that time I was approached to go on programs, psychic programs, and do presentations, and I refused because I knew they'd make a monkey out of me. They'd turn it into a circus. They'd debunk me. They'd bring me on and set me up, and it would all go wrong, because there is an agenda to raise people up on a pedestal and knock them down, and that's how the media works. And I wasn't going to be a puppet. I didn't want it to be about me, and I didn't want it to be about the effects. I wanted it to be about personal power. Maintain your personal power, have personal integrity, judge for yourself, you're your own best expert, and realise that what you're seeing is only there for your consideration. So sit down with a brew or a coconut, breathe, ask for inspiration, and if you don't know what to decide, then you can also always talk to me with a cup of tea. Be powerful, enjoy your mind, be careful what you do, but be powerful also. Turn towards the light, hold everything up towards the light, and use your higher mind, not your egoic lower mind, and you'll get through this. We'll all get through this. This is a temporary blip in eternity. It's just a story, and if we stick together and talk together with like-minded people who vibrate on the same frequency as you and me, we'll be great. We'll get through this. God bless you all.